Well, here's another mine entrance we finally made our way to. Okay, right here at the portal, you can see it's kind of on an angle here. And there's an erosion pile, which is very typical. And then because of all the rainfall, there's some mud down here, which you don't usually see out here in the desert, but it's been such a wet monsoon season everywhere. New Mexico, Arizona, Southern California, Nevada, that there's just a lot of water. Yeah, you usually don't see muds like that in these desert mines. But this is pretty solid. Nick and Traci are already up there, miner 49er. And I had researched this mine, and apparently this goes in pretty extensive and connects up with other openings that are higher on the hillside, pretty much in line with this lowest opening. So we're gonna check it out. And that's where we're headed. So there's looking back at the portal. Back in the day, you would have been able to walk straight out without having to climb up a pile like that. So this is a pretty tall tunnel, probably about 8 or 9 feet tall. So that's how much rubble is in the entrance. And then here's making our way down towards Nick and Traci. If you haven't had a chance to check out Nick's channel here on YouTube, it's Miner 49er, and there will be a slide out card in the upper right hand corner of the screen. If you have that feature enabled, that will have a link to Nick's channel. He's been exploring mines and he puts out a video every weekend, so you'll always have something to look forward to every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I'm glad you're here following along. Look how the tunnel kind of tilts here. It doesn't tilt, but it looks like it's tilting. I always think that's a really cool, kind of like a funhouse effect right here. This is probably a fault line right here, contact zone, right there where my light is, between the different slabs of rock. And I bet they were mining this light gray stuff, probably. So we've arrived at a 4-way intersection here. Tunnel there to the left, straight ahead, and then a tunnel to the right, and looking behind us, the portal. So we've decided we're going to take the main tunnel straight, and on the way back out, take the branches. Again, this pieces of metal down here on the ground, you see, rectangular pieces of metal, those are muck plates. I guess when the miners would blast, they'd put that down on the tunnel floor right at the end of the tunnel where they were blasting. And then when the blast went off, the rubble would fall onto the metal plates, which made it easier to shovel. So that's what those are. They're called muck plates because the debris that they were shoveling was called muck, and the miners who did that were called muckers. Oh wow, look at this. There's a vertical shaft over there with a crude safety barrier, which is just a tree trunk. Look at that. Wow, and it looks like it goes off there to the right as well. We'll come back and check that on the way out. Here's some kind of a, I don't know what that would have been. Traci thought it was a door, but maybe so, I don't know. I'm not sure what that was. If anybody knows what that would have been used for, let us know in the comments. It's pretty massive. A lot of lumber went into that. Okay, let's keep heading down, catch up to Nick and Traci. Lots of things to explain in these mines, so it takes a little bit of time. Uh-oh, there's something hanging here. What the heck is hanging up here from the tunnel ceiling? See that white thing? Oh, it's a face mask, dust mask. Welcome to the age of COVID, folks. Well, it looks like the tunnel goes that way, but Nick and Traci are this way, so We'll come back and take this junction. Goes pretty far. We'll take that on the way out. Okay, so we came to this vertical shaft going down on a steep incline, and Nick's crossing on a big round timber. He made it. Well. Now the question is, am I going to do it? Probably not. Okay, so Nick made a cross there, and there's a three-way split, but they were all dead ends except for the one to the left. There was a big hole in the floor, like right what you see right here, but no way across it. So nothing really to see back there. But you can see here where my light is, there's a cut. Kind of goes in there. There's a cut, and that goes right down into the shaft. So the vein was probably right there. And then looking up, it's a stope up there. And there's some workers' platforms. There's a pipe right there where my light is going up into the stope, probably air or water for the drills. But you can see a false floor up there, a workers' platform. Those look pretty rotten. But they would stand on those platforms and use their drills as they dug out the stope. So we're going to head back and take some of those junctions that are back this way. So let's go check it out. Okay, we're back at the Mask Junction. We came in from that way. So here we are.
Let's follow the numbers and see what they think.
They're like survey marks.
184, 83, 82.
Yeah, it looks like, that's not feet, I don't think. Looks like survey marks. These tunnels are really wide and tall. It's nice.
182.
So there's a big hole in the floor here. See that stack of rocks there? Nick made that when he approached this hole from the other side, back at that shaft that went down. So that's where that tunnel comes out. So there's his stack of rocks that he left as a marker. And we don't know how far down that goes. But you can see an ore cart track sticking out right there. So probably had a hoist here at one point. But yeah, so that goes back to that intersection we were just at. And then not sure where that goes. We'll come back and check that out later. Support timber kind of wedged up in there. It's kind of camouflaged against the rocks. Kind of looks like a rock when you're a step back away from it. Okay, we got a sharp left-hand turn up here. Look at the ceiling here, how smooth it is. All the layers. Keeps going, Tracy says. That's a dead end. It's getting a little sketchy here. Look at, oh gosh, look at the ceiling here. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I like that jaggedy. Well, another hole there in front of Nick.
On that way. The question is how stable.
So Nick made it across. This doesn't go down that far. Looks like about, I don't know, about 40 feet, but could be plugged. But the tracks went across here. Here's the ore cart tracks. And a lot of debris back there. Go check it out and see where that goes. Okay, so we're back at the junction here where Nick put that rock stack across this big shaft in the floor. So we just came from that way, and we're going to go down this branch this way, and back this way is the portal and all the other junctions. So let's head down this way. Here's some ventilation pipe. Looks like they put that together. That's not welding, I don't think, but someone explained what that was once, how they put that together to keep the sections together. I can't remember. If somebody knows, let us know in the comments. But that was ventilation piping. Yeah, this mine is really extensive. That's why I researched all this, and this was one of the bigger ones out here, so we're finding that to be very true. Okay, here's kind of a white, gray, black color scheme. And it sounds like my voice got a little muffled here because of all this soft rock. You can see how it's all come down. So not a very stable area. Yeah, it's kind of damp in here. You can see the ceiling, these timbers were like what you're seeing here. They fell down from up there. Yeah, our voices are really muffled here, which is a sign that you're going through a very unstable area, prone to collapse, that you see here in the ground. Yeah, you can see there's the ceiling that's still standing, but what we just crossed over used to be above us, just like that. Yeah, this is a real unstable area. It's just a little alcove. I think we've reached the face. Okay, we're back at the first junction. There's the portal. And here's another vertical shaft in the floor. Okay, here's looking down this hole. There's an old can down there. Let me zoom in on that. That's as far as I can zoom in. Let's get some light there. There's an old can right there. That's probably the bottom of that, but you never know. It could be a plug. It might have went a lot deeper, but it seems like all these vertical shafts are about the same depth. So that probably is the real bottom. But look at these massive support timbers here, acting as a safety wall. That right there goes down not that far, about 15 feet or so, and stops. I thought it might have come out over here, but it doesn't. Doesn't connect up anywhere. That's just the beginning of a stope, and then they stopped. So we need to go down that way and catch up with Nick and Traci. More muck plates for blasting. Some nice color through here. Kind of a reddish brown. A lot of nice colors through here. Here's the face. So there's the portal. Here was the very first junction. Apparently, Nick and Traci said this goes down here, these dead ends, but they said the ceiling was pretty interesting. Oh, it just ends right here. Yeah, this is kind of a unique. The color is kind of striking. And here's looking up. Wow. That rock right there looks like a blade. See that? It comes down to a tapered point. Almost like a hatchet blade. But yeah. So we'll turn to the left and make our exit.